Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from XRP Crypto Wolf. Honestly, getting sick and tired of XRP going down with the rest of the market. It should have decoupled a long time ago. You know what's keeping XRP from decoupling from Bitcoin? The lack of clarity, the lack of regulations. This is why regulations are so important. Once we get clarity here in the United States, XRP will decouple from Bitcoin. Look at what's going on with MiCA. This comes from Smoke, evidence that XRP will be covered under MiCA. MiCA's crypto asset regulation will cover utility tokens. According to McKinsey, sources cited below, XRP is a utility token. And I expect the same thing to happen here in the United States. So you see, crypto asset issuer, utility tokens, crypto asset service provider, other crypto assets like Bitcoin, and in the middle you have stable coins. But once XRP is classified as a utility token here in the United States, that's going to push XRP's value because the institutional money will then flow into utility. It will avoid speculation and hype like Bitcoin. And that's what I've been trying to tell you this entire time. Because right now, every time Bitcoin dips down, it takes the rest of the market with it. Once clarity is here, it will no longer happen. XRP will move on its own. EZA predicts XRP could reach $1,000 in value by 2030. Take a listen to this.
And the IPO of Circle really brought stablecoin to the forefront when it comes to American retail investors. And I understand that you're looking at XRP here. So tell us why and the use case.
Definitely. So we work very closely together with Ripple. We work very closely to actually bring our massive community of over 1 million developers onto the XRP ledger. And so we've been working with them really to actually foster the next generation of companies to launch, both in the financial services sector and all the way, from like the biggest institutions, but actually down to, startups as well, through the hackathons that many people have seen we posted on social media, etc. So for us, we're really bullish on Ripple, on XRP in particular, because of the inroads they've already made into the TradFi sector. They've been, really sort of diligent about getting tons of different licenses all across the world to actually make sure that they are positioned to own the space when the institutions actually come into blockchain, into crypto, which they're already starting to do with stablecoins. That's obviously a huge use case, and Ripple has their own RLUSD stablecoin, which is awesome, and we've already started educating our community on them. And ultimately for us, we're just super bullish on the mission, what they're doing already in terms of bringing all these big institutions. Hidden Road acquisition, for example, is a great example of how they're going to actually be utilizing the XRP ledger in the real world, settling trades, etc., much faster, cheaper than otherwise would be possible. And then obviously also international money payments. All of those different aspects really make it one of the formative companies of the next decade, in our opinion. And I know a lot of people have been asking for my price targets on XRP. And I think it's the first time I'll say it, but I think XRP is heading to $1,000 by 2030. So for me...
So $1,000 by 2030. I think it's going to happen much sooner. Like I said, that 2030 timeline has changed. I think everything's going to be in place by 2027, 2028. But is his prediction reality? In other words, can it actually happen? So I shared this in a video yesterday. Pundit Zach Rector highlights the inflows XRP needs to hit $100 and $1,000. So for XRP to hit $100, 11 to $58 billion of net inflows has to happen. And for a $1,000 XRP, you need 118 to $589 billion of inflows. So let's look at the ETFs. Bitcoin ETFs pulled in $35 billion of net inflows in 2024, the biggest first-year total in ETF history. And in 2025, brought in just $13 billion. So if that kind of money is flowing into the Bitcoin ETFs, what do you think is going to happen when all of these go live? What price XRP will be at in the near future after all these ETFs? And we see how much demand there is for an XRP ETF. So the ETFs alone could get us to $50 plus, possibly even to 3 digits, because it doesn't take all the money that you think it takes to move the price of XRP. So that's how a $50 to $100 XRP becomes reality. And I still believe it can happen in this cycle. You couple that with tokenization, because once we get regulations, tokenization is also going to amp up. That's going to be the big boom for tokenization. Now imagine all that value coming to the XRP ledger and XRP moving that value on a daily basis. Then you look at cross-border payments. You look at ISO bringing some value to XRP and the rest of these ISO-compliant cryptocurrencies as well. It is going to be a great time to be an XRP investor very soon. All of these predictions are based on crypto retail over the last 10 years. We are in a whole different era now. No way to predict what's going to happen. And if you think it's going to look like anything like the past, you're kidding yourself. And I agree with that. What is everybody saying right now? Oh, we're following the 2017-2018 run. And sure, it does look like that's happening for XRP. But this run is going to be the 2017-2018 run on steroids, because now the institution money's coming here. Now we're going to see that massive wave of liquidity into these cryptocurrencies. And I'm telling you, the institutions are going to avoid Bitcoin. They're already looking beyond Bitcoin. XRP beat Bitcoin by 237% in a year without ETFs or treasury backing. Now it's getting both and more. So think about that. Even without the ETFs, we are already outperforming Bitcoin. XRP's been outperforming both Bitcoin and Ethereum ever since the president got elected. And it was already starting to happen before the president even got elected. Everything is dying off around Bitcoin and Ethereum because they're the past. New technology is taking over. If you're holding a cryptocurrency that doesn't solve a real world problem, it is going to become irrelevant over time. And it goes even beyond the ETFs. Look at all these companies now creating treasuries around XRP as well. And as they're buying up all that XRP, they're going to lock it away for long periods of time. What do you think happens? All of a sudden, we're on the road to scarcity while demand continues to rise. Retail is not buying the Bitcoin hype like previous bull runs. So who is buying? The answer is nobody. It's buying this scam. The price is manipulated higher to allow for whales to continue to control the majority of this Ponzi to exit at favorable prices. Retail is not buying Bitcoin. And it's true. They're pushing away from Bitcoin now. And that's why they're looking for the government to buy up Bitcoin so that they can bail out these big bag holders now. These people bought, they didn't sell, The price continues to go higher, and now they want a bailout from the U.S. government. Usually they get the retail bailout. Retail continues to sink their money into Bitcoin while the big bag holders continue to exit their position. This time around, it's much different. Even as Bitcoin was reaching new all-time high after new all-time high, I kept saying there's no hype around it. People aren't really talking about it. You know why? Because usually all that hype comes from retail on X. And retail's not making money, so why would they even talk about Bitcoin? It's the big bag holders talking about it. Michael Saylor, Loomis talking about it. Mahler's talking about it. People from BlackRock talking about it. Keeping the mainstream media narrative going, hoping that retail starts pouring into Bitcoin. But why the hell would you ever buy something if you can't be a whole coiner? If you can't buy one whole Bitcoin, there's no sense in holding it at all. That's why they're looking past it now. And in countless videos, I told you the digital dollar is coming in 2025. It started with the Genius Act. Here's the Treasury telling you the same thing.
You have another historic legislative achievement that is a monumental step to fulfilling your promise to making the United States the crypto capital of the world. This Genius Act will unlock American dominance in the crypto industry by creating clear rules of the road. It will update archaic payment rails with a revolutionary new payment system, and it will extend U.S. dollar dominance, like you said, globally, by creating a digital dollar that people all over the world can use. And
by creating a digital dollar that people all around the world can use. When they're saying the word digital dollar, it is already coming. RLUSD could easily become the U.S. digital dollar. I'm thinking they most likely will start to push that narrative later this year into 2026. Because the rest of the world, they're either going on to central bank digital currency or they're getting their own digital money now. But they're going to start to back that digital money with gold. That's why the central banks have been stockpiling gold for such a long time. They're going to tokenize that gold and use it to back the digital dollar. XRP can bridge that digital dollar to every sector of the world. It's going to be in areas that we never thought we could gain access to in the past with the current US dollar. I'm talking about banking the unbanked. That's where crypto is going to have the biggest impact. Then it's going to be utilized domestically as well. That's why Ripple has all those money transmitter licenses. Then you're going to hear the talk of micropayments through Interledger Protocol. XRP is going to expand out so quick over the coming months. And as it's happening, us as XRP holders, we are going to get very rich as this all plays out. And it is absolutely coming. I told you, everything is now being fast-tracked. 2030 is no longer the year. Most likely 2027, 2028. But we're going to watch XRP rise in price starting this year, and I think that's going to continue throughout next year and the following year as well. What a great time to be in crypto. And until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.